it's now time to do an activity I like to call 2015 song or classic 60s theme. Listen in, will you? Have your answer yet? Well, in some ways, and opinion of course, the answer is every music artist does it nowadays. What's one more? As you may know, Fall Out Boy made a song called Uma Thurman, which samples the Munsters theme song. Now, personally, I feel a record label bought the sample with what I like to call a kill bill. Don't really feel like I have to explain that. But yeah, a lot of artists are doing this nowadays. You have Ariana Grande. Yeah, Ariana Grande. We've talked about her before in an earlier video. You know that song Problem? Ever heard the beginning of it or the actual hook of the song and said, wow, this sounds familiar? And then you hear don't. Yeah, it sounds like everybody dance now. Ever notice that? Oh well, the next time you YouTube the song Problem, you might notice it. You know what, I just realized that because of the overwhelmingness of changing a format, I literally forgot to say give me a minute. So, just count that clip as a give me a minute, okay. There are these things that go around called cheap knockoffs, cheap imitations, and more commonly known as rip-offs. Well, usually it's due to a failed permission or it's just plain thievery. Take this for example. You want SpongeBob, you can't have SpongeBob, so what do? You go into Photoshop, you take a picture of SpongeBob, and then basically mess around with it until you get some slightly different looking, but your mind still says SpongeBob. No, this isn't SpongeBob, this is Ragbill Rectangle Trousers. Yeah, I'm sure parody is one thing, but you can't be going around calling the Big Brother house the first cousin place, you know? You can't have a reality show full of voyeurism and have a host named Julio Chung, you know? That's just really weird. Alright, now some nostalgia for you. We all know the chipmunks, Alvin, Simon, Theodore. For years now, in this century, we've been getting these live-action movies, and yeah, there's 3 of them, most likely to have the word chip as a pun. However, with the exception of the second movie, we get the squeakquel, so squeak is the pun. Now, there's a 4th movie coming out in December, but to hold us up, I mean, to keep us busy, not hold us up, like, to stick up, no. Because Nickelodeon wouldn't do that. Nickelodeon purchased a series of Alvin and the Chipmunks, but is it Alvin and the Chipmunks, or is it Sweet Life of Zack and Cody spinoff? Let's take a look at this. Talk about the Sprouse triplets, you know? So basically, they made a cartoon with the Sprouse triplets and the Olsen triplets. Yeah, I'm going here, ladies and gentlemen. Just let it happen, because it's true. They did not draw chipmunks, they drew human beings that are at least 2 feet tall. So basically, they're puppets. That being said, this is events in history that actually happened. Alright, so we all know Nickelodeon and Disney Channel have their rivalries. I mean, sometimes they'll come out with the same content. Like, right now, both channels have a series focused on friends in the 7th grade. Well, they also have their share of long-running TV shows. But since Phineas and Ferb ended, Nickelodeon for the win, you know? Speaking of SpongeBob, he's going to be the focus of this event. Now, remember how we were talking about Alvin and the Chipmunks earlier? Well, every once in a while, Disney will feature the first film. And if you saw that movie, you're familiar with this scene.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob nonsense be something you wish.
Well, you know, Nickelodeon should really get even with making a Walt Disney's head joke. Oh wait, iCarly did that already. Well, anyway, that is the show for you, you know, to follow me on social media. Well, this is Rob Rodriguez saying, see you next week on The Rob Rodriguez Show.